welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the roller coaster ride that was my journey with the 2006 Chrysler 300 rear-wheel drive V6. I snagged this car at an auction on September 22nd, 2022. I was on the hunt for a ride, just something to get to work and back. And this Chrysler seemed like hitting the jackpot. It was cheap, looked nice. Little did I know it was going to be a journey full of surprises. As I laid eyes on the car, I was excited. The exterior looked pristine, and the potential for customization had my gears turning. Ready to hit the road back to New York from PA, I hopped into the driver's seat with anticipation. However, just as I turned the key, a disheartening sound echoed through the engine. Rod knock. My excitement turned to concern, realizing there was more to this auction find than meets the eye. A lifter problem further complicated matters. Now I drove back home, leaving the car in the auction. The problem now was that I had to find a tow truck to bring the car from PA all the way to Long Island, New York. Deciding not to risk further damage to the engine, I had to make a call to tow the Chrysler to my shop. Once at the shop, the inspection revealed the extent of the issues. The rod knock and lifter problem needed immediate attention. It was a setback, but it also became an opportunity to showcase the resilience of this Chrysler. Now, this whole project took weeks, months. The car was at the shop for months. After the initial disappointment of the rod knock, I knew the heart of this Chrysler needed a complete overhaul. Engine number 1 was out, which was the initial engine that was inside with the rod knock. And we found an engine for $1,250. We placed it inside. The first replacement engine seemed promising, but alas, it was plagued by a lack of compression. It was like solving one puzzle only to stumble upon another challenge. Determined not to give up, I dove back into the search for engine number 2. We waited 2 weeks for engine number 2. With engine number 2 in place, optimism filled the air. However, the joy was short-lived because it also had compression issues and noise. It was a frustrating setback, but I wasn't ready to throw in the towel just yet. After some meticulous troubleshooting, tuning, and a bit of automotive wizardry, I finally struck gold with the third engine. It was a moment of triumph as the Chrysler roared back to life, stronger and smoother than ever. But the journey didn't end there. I spent hours fine-tuning every aspect of the engine with the mechanic to ensure optimal performance. From adjusting the timing to tweaking the fuel injection, every detail was scrutinized to unleash the true potential of this Chrysler. With the engine finally working, it was time for the real test. A thrilling performance run. The revamped Chrysler didn't just meet expectations, it exceeded them. So after replacing this engine, the car needed some other work, like brakes, suspensions, bushings, links, sway bar, and much more. I replaced everything. And I drove this car for 1 year without any problems. The only problem I actually faced when I was driving this car is when doing a very sharp turn to the left or a U-turn, turning the wheel all the way and the car would just shut off, would lose power. My guess is that the computer is not giving enough RPM and the engine just loses power because of the steering wheel. We never figured it out and I sold the car already. I told the next owner about it. There were a lot of customizations that I put on this vehicle. I changed the stock radio, which was disgusting and old, and I installed the Apple CarPlay Android radio. Later on, the shifter stopped working and I was stuck. I was gonna drive home from work, turn on the car, about to shift into gear, and it wouldn't shift. Turns out that these Chryslers have a problem, a very common problem, of a pink plastic that breaks, and in order for the shifter to shift, that plastic needs to be there. So I got a replacement on Amazon. This time I got a metallic piece. Changed the entire plastic, took off the shifter, and I realized that this car was a little filthy. The previous owner was a smoker and there was ash everywhere. Cigarette ashes were everywhere, all around. Cleaned it all out, and just about a month later, I sold the car. The next owner of this vehicle is so lucky because every single aspect of this car was meticulously maintained. Oil changes were done on time. The new owner is very lucky to have it. And this is it. This was the journey with the Chrysler. I tried to make a video previously, earlier, but it didn't work out. Thanks for joining the ride. If you enjoyed the journey with the Chrysler 300, ring that notification bell to stay tuned for the next exciting chapter. Your support means the world. Until then, happy driving.